David Chancellor is off, and Cameron's here, and all I heard in the sports office, from that office, was like screaming tonight.
For the past
I
hour and a
assume
half.
you were watching the Spurs game.
Yes, of course we watched the Spurs game. Great comeback by the Spurs. It didn't look good in the first half, but boy, did they make it exciting in the second half. We are all over the Spurs. All right, good news. Tony Parker is back after missing 2 games with that back injury. It didn't help early on. Parker, the turnover. The Suns going the other way. Eric Bledsoe with the easy lay-in. Spurs down by 8. It got worse. Ish Smith with the lob. Markieff Morris there with the slam. Suns lead by 19. The ball finally bounced their way late in the first. Danny Green, the only bright spot, 19 first-half points, but the Spurs still down 13 after 1. Same story in the second. Gerald Green throwing it down, and the Spurs down by 13 at the half. They roared back in the second half. Big second half for Tony Parker. Knocks down the jumper. Spurs closing the gap. Tony had 18 points. Then on the break, Green, the stop, the pop. Spurs only down by 4. They're fired up. Then check out Kawhi, the drive, and the strength. Count the basket in 1. Spurs down by 2. This game came down to the wire, down by 1 in the fourth. Kawhi Leonard drains the 3. Then Marco. This 3 puts the Spurs up by 5 with 3:30 to go. They turn to who else but Danny Green to seal the deal. Another 3 and a career-high 33 points for Green. The Spurs come from behind and clinch home court throughout the playoffs. The final, 112-104.
I was really proud of them. It's a 48-minute game, and they could have just said, it's tough 3 and 4 nights and back-to-back, and we're just going to take a blow tonight. But
I was just trying to, be aggressive. We were down 13, so just try to get something, bring some energy to the team. It was a back-to-back for everybody. It was just like 4 or 5 days off, so I was just trying to bring energy.
The win came at the right time for the Spurs, so the road to the NBA Finals, it's going through San Antonio. The Spurs are the #1 overall seed in the playoffs. There are 2 games left in the regular season, so expect Pop to rest some guys before the playoff starts. All right, good thing the Spurs wrapped it up tonight, because OKC, well, they keep on winning. The MVP just out in full force tonight against New Orleans. Off the steal, throwing it down. Durant had 27 points. I could watch that all night. Thunder win 116-94. All right, to South Beach, the King flexing his muscles, trying to be the top seed in the East against the Pacers. LeBron James showing he's just a bigger, better, stronger man than you are. Gets the basket to go there. Then the Heat just run away with this thing in the second half. James finished with 36 points. The Heat lead the Pacers now by half a game in the East. All right, to golf, get this. For the first time since 1994, there will be no Tiger Woods or Phil Mickelson heading into the weekend at the Masters. Mickelson will be watching, just like the rest of us, for the final 2 rounds. And when you do things like this on the golf course, there's no chance it's a good day. His second shot on 12 goes into 1 bunker, and then watch this. It's going right back to the same spot. Phil finished at +5 for the day. He got cut. Solid day, though, for the local guy, Jimmy Walker. His second shot on the par 5-8 puts it very close to the hole, and this thing is going to get a friendly roll. Walker would birdie the hole. Shot even par for the day. He is tied for 7th. How about another Texas native? The former Longhorn Jordan Spieth, he's in the hunt. Gets the birdie on 18 to drop to 3 under for the tournament. He's in a 4-way tie for 3rd, but the story of the day, the 2010 champ, Bubba Watson. 5 straight birdies on the back 9. Shot a 68, 4 under for the day. Check out this beauty on 14. Nothing but the bottom of the cup. And Watson is your outright leader at 7 under.
I didn't play my best golf last year, but, this year I come in here with no media attention, just out there practicing, playing. I changed my routine a little bit, just try to save energy as much as I can. And then, so it was very, very different from last year to this year.
Beamer, that Phil shot looked like me on the golf course. That's what I do. Go right, then left.
A lot of sand.
Yeah, no wonder. All right, here's a look at the leaderboard right here. Watson up at the top. The defending champ, Adam Scott, is right there at 3 under. Fred Couples, great day for him. He's at 2 under. And lots of big names at the top. The cut was +4. As you see there at the bottom, Rory McIlroy barely made it into the weekend. All right, Longhorn quarterback David Ash, he just can't catch a break. Ash missed most of last season with the concussion. Now he will miss the remaining of spring practice with a left foot fracture. He will be out the following week where he's going to have surgery, but is expected to be ready for fall camp. Sophomore Tyrone Swoops will get the start for the rest of practice. And before we go tonight, Beamer,
Yep.
Cliff Kingsbury
Yep.
is at it again.
Uh-oh.
From flirting with moms, now he has a dance-off at practice. That's Cliff right there in the black shirt competing with wideout Derek Edwards. Now, the team stood around it. It looked like a scene from You Got Served. No word yet on who won the dance contest. Beamer, I'm told that dance right there is called the stanky leg. So with your knee,
I'm sorry?
With your knee like that, it just wiggles like that. So that's how it works.
Thank you, Cameron. Updating Grandpa here. We'll be right back. Kids.
We saw this coming. Tim Duncan will not play tonight versus Phoenix. Duncan had that injury scare last night in Dallas, so Pop giving him the night off to rest. Manu Ginobili will also not play tonight to rest, so that means 2 members of the Big Three are out. But what about Tony? All right, so here's the good news. Tony Parker will play tonight after missing 2 games with a back injury, and with the playoffs right around the corner, tonight is no throwaway game. The magic number to clinch home court throughout the playoffs is now down to 1, so winning tonight would be ideal with 3 games left in the season. Now, it's very possible Tony is back, and guys like Patty Mills and Kawhi Leonard are just balling. Mills scored 26 points last night, and Kawhi was key down the stretch in extended minutes. So here it is, 3 games left. Phoenix is in town tonight, and they're fighting to stay alive in the playoff picture. Winning tonight is key, so Pop can rest some of the guys with maybe a week to go before the playoffs start. All right, now this situation really is nothing new for the Spurs, but this year is different. This was supposed to be the year that age really caught up to them. Well, I think Father Time has learned his lesson, but it sounds like Charles Barkley still needs to learn his.
They can't win the West. They can't win the West, in my opinion. Yeah. I just don't think those old guys are going to be able to hold on. I mean, every time, you know, Tony Parker is probably the only one who's still in his prime. I just don't think they can last 3 rounds of the playoffs against elite competition. I just think the age is going to take its toll on them.
For getting a key to the city, is he? Funny thing here is, Charles, people have been saying that for years, but they're still the best basketball team in the league. A quick look at the standings. If the playoffs started today, the Spurs would play Dallas in the first round. Now, both the Mavs and the Suns are hanging on to the last 2 playoff spots by a full game over Memphis. Now, David Robinson is truly one of the greats, both on and off the court. A family man at heart who is always led by example. Robinson was a part of a panel of speakers at the Civil Rights Summit in Austin yesterday. Number 50 weighed in on a number of social topics, including leadership, which has a personal meaning to David.
My big thing is you be that for that next person. You be an example for my boys. My whole life I pour into my boys, you know, because they are the next generation. That's my biggest responsibility. I mean, yes, I love to go and start the school, and I love to encourage other people's children, but that's my responsibility right there.
Like I said, a true family man. David also addressed the topic of how gay athletes should be treated. Robinson saying an athlete's sexual orientation shouldn't matter, and gay players should be treated the same by their coaches and teammates. A quick look at the Masters second-round leaderboard right now. What a day for Bubba Watson. He is your leader at 7 under with a 68 today. Adam Scott right there, shot a 72. He's 3 under. And look at that. San Antonio's own Jimmy Walker finished with a 72. He is 2 under. All your highlights tonight at 10 o'clock. Beamer?
All right, thanks, Cameron, and your posse here. Your daddy's in the room.
What were your thoughts when Tim Duncan went down, and was there any hesitation in putting him back in?
No.
Is there any concern that this might tighten up at halftime or maybe not allow him to play tomorrow?
I don't think so.
Beamer, 6 words. That's all it took for Pop to sum up Tim Duncan's injury scare. But as for playing tonight, I wouldn't bet on it. All right, no need to panic, San Antonio. Pop always puts the health of his players before everything else. So with tonight being a back-to-back, we probably won't see the captain in action. Now, the injury miss everyone is talking about happened midway through the first quarter last night. Duncan's knee just buckles on the landing. Tough to watch. He would leave the game for a bit, but just a minute and a half later, get this, he comes back in the game, plays 39 minutes, and finishes with 20 points. So I guess the knee is okay, but it gave everyone a scare, including the big fella.
How concerned were you at the time, and how much pain did you endure?
No, it wasn't bad. It just scared me more than anything. When I landed, I hyperextended my knee, and I was just scared, basically, that something had happened. So I just wanted to get off the court and make sure everything was all right.
So we probably won't see Tim Duncan tonight or Tony Parker. Now, if that's the case, it'll be the 3rd game in a row TP9 is missed because of back problems. Pop will talk around 5:45, so we'll have the latest for you at 6 o'clock. All right, it's the Spurs and Suns tonight, 7:30 from the AT&T Center. The Spurs' magic number for the top spot is down to 1, so getting a win tonight will be key with only 3 games left before the playoffs. And coming up at 6, the latest from Pop, plus Charles Barkley does it again, San Antonio, and David Robinson's powerful message on life. All that at 6 o'clock. Beamer?